think it's could be safely said that traditionally, year after year now, Jaime Maussan and Santiago Garza have been the most anticipated presenters to the Congress. We go back 20 years with Jaime, virtually. We first introduced him to the wide audience of English-speaking folks, and the same with Santiago some years after. These men are giants, they are legends. And why? Contrast the way that their home country of Mexico treats the phenomena. Their news people actually report about it when it happens. When videos and witnesses are gathered, they actually put them on the screen and allow their entire nation to know what the heck is going on. And Jaime is the Dan Rather, he's the 60 Minutes man of Mexico. Okay? And when you have someone coming into your living room night, week after week, he becomes a friend, a trusted friend. And guess what happens when that trusted friend says, oh, by the way, haha, we're not alone, and we know it. You have an entire country that begins to look up. I never see UFOs. I don't. They're up there. That's where you got to look. So look, I'm not beating a dead horse here, but contrast it to what we have in our country. And it's sad, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the legends, Jaime and Santiago.
Thank you very much. It's been a lifetime with Bob Brown, his family, and this Congress. I still remember back in 1991 when he held the first conference, and even one before in Tucson as a try in 1990. Since then, we have seen the evolution of this phenomenon. We have seen the evidence, the witnesses being every time more credible, and the evidence clearer. Before we start, Santiago Yturria and myself want to dedicate this last presentation at the Laughlin UFO International Congress to Bob Brown and the Brown family, to Terry, Brown, who is no longer with us, but she was the inspiration that held this event together for so long. To Nikki, who is now the main person doing this event. And I really want to dedicate this effort to the Brown family, because without them, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now probably you ask yourself, how is it possible that every year Santiago Yturria and Maussan can bring so many new cases, evidences, videos? The reason is, as Bob Brown said, we have a television show. It's on Sunday nights from 7:30 to 9 o'clock in a national channel. That allowed us to be in touch, to be in contact with the people, and we receive this evidence constantly. And that is why we can investigate this. I really think that the only way to have a full-time job behind the UFO phenomenon is being able to live from it. Otherwise, it becomes just a hobby. And we need many more full-time investigators around the world. Because if we cannot do that, then we will continue having problems really presenting and getting the information, the investigation, the evidence. And I believe every single investigator in this phenomenon has to find a way to create a virtual circle, a circle that can reinforce itself, releasing the information, getting some revenue from it, not becoming rich, just living from it, and continue. Otherwise, we don't have the quality of the investigation that we need around the world. Santiago.
Thank you, Jaime. Well, good afternoon and welcome, dear friends, to this presentation. Jaime and I are truly honored to have been invited again by the Brown family, and it's a real honor as we have been coming here for so many years. And in this occasion, Jaime and I bring you, well, as usual, first of all, our investigations of UFOs in space, 4 missions from last year, and the 5th mission just from 2 weeks ago, with great images that prove, once again, that it's undeniable that the astronauts are not alone in space. And also, of course, the new UFO sightings from Mexico.
And around the world.
And this time we include a very special one from Mexico City, a sighting that took Jaime and me by surprise, something quite unique, one of a kind that we have never seen before. So, dear friends, I guarantee this one, you will be surprised too. And many other reports, and of course at the end of our conference, because, you know, my friends, 2012 is almost around the corner, well, we bring you also another surprise, something beautiful that appeared over in Mexico. And I just can tell you with complete assurance, this is something beautiful. Just wait, and we want to invite you, dear friends, just relax and prepare yourselves for an exciting adventure into the mystery of the unknown. Enjoy the presentation.
Okay. This is the entrance of my show. Sound?
Algunos investigadores han considerado que esta es una prueba irrefutable.
Televisa y Maussan Producciones presentan Tercer Milenio con Jaime Maussan.
Thanks to this show that has been on the air now for 6 years, we have a building of 4 floors with more than 30 investigators, astronomers, geographers, and scientists who work with us, even though they are criticized and they are not welcomed by the scientific community in Mexico. They believe this is real and this is important. Thanks to this show, we have everything and we have the money to go around the world and do these investigations. Last year, I was able not just to go to England, but I went to Italy, I went to Turkey, as I promised, with my dear friend Haktan Hakdogan. I was there with Yalcin Yalman, and I am absolutely sure, even Roger Lear is, because he was there too, that this is a real phenomenon, what is happening in Kumburgas at the Marmara Sea. We also went to Italy with Antonio Ursi and also Pier Giorgio Caria, and we were able to take all this investigation to Mexico. We have now a show in LA TV in the United States. It's a Spanish-speaking network. Probably you can watch it even though you don't want to understand it, but it's there. And I want to tell you something. After the first 10 shows, we were rated #1 in the network. Because of that, they got 20 more shows that are now being presented. And thanks to that, we have now a pilot in English for the American television. There are some companies with syndication that are really interested in everything that we are doing, not just in Mexico, but around the world. And I cross my fingers that very soon, for the first time, a program done outside the U.S. is going to be presented to the American public with a different vision of this phenomenon. Real investigation. We will take the responsibility not just to present two sides. I will take the responsibility that everything that we present there is going to be real. Because I think most of the programs that present both sides is because they don't want any responsibility. The investigators have to have responsibility, have to respond for what they present. And that's what I'm going to do.
But this is the first mission that we want to present you, the STS-125 by Shuttle Atlantis. And as usual, the first day of the mission is always, by some coincidence or curiosity, the most intense day in UFO sightings.
I want to say something. All these are spacewalks by the astronauts. We have seen that every time that there is a spacewalk, there are UFOs very close to the missions. It's like if they are watching, if something happens, I don't know exactly what.
And besides that, the images that you are seeing, like this one, the next mission, STS-127, by Shuttle Endeavour, well, all these images are broadcast by NASA on their own satellite. And as you can see, suddenly appear strange objects, luminous objects. We don't know what they are. We call them UFOs because of the characteristics, the speed. Sometimes they change movement, like this one. This is very interesting. You can see like it's like rotating, has some kind of appendices or something. Well, every sighting or every image where these objects appear show different features. This is a beautiful one. On the upper part of the screen, you are watching our planet. This is at night time, and you can see many objects passing by. Sometimes these objects approach either the shuttle or the International Space Station. In this mission, the next one, STS-128, by Shuttle Discovery, we can see not only one, but two. These images are becoming more familiar for us because we follow 24 hours a day for 15 days or 16 of mission, all the transmission. As you can see, sometimes the objects are very fast.
We don't think this is space trash. We don't think these are meteorites. We don't think its size. If this were space trash, it would be very dangerous for the missions. If these were meteorites, can you imagine? It would be impossible to survive in the International Space Station with so many. In many cases, you can see the objects standing still, but they are not standing still. They are moving 28,000 kilometers an hour. That's the speed of the International Space Stations and the shuttles.
And there is something also interesting. These new recent missions are very different from the first ones. The first ones, the images were almost black and white, but at the same time you could see the background full of stars and objects and whatever. But suddenly it seems that they changed maybe the lens of the camera, so maybe they changed the camera. And now it's hardly to see in the background. This is a very interesting sequence in which you can see from inside of the shuttle, there is, through the window, a small object pulsating that is passing by. These are the kind of images that we definitive think are anomalies in space. Also, as Jaime said, this is a spacewalk, and as you can see, suddenly appear an unknown light, an unknown object, and sometimes exhibits a strange feature like this one. Now you are seeing this big orb, and also some reflection or some strange appearance, like in this moment. Now this is controversial, and we know that. I mean, we realize all these images are controversial, but we are showing you exactly what is happening in space.
But
now,
I've
like
never
this
seen
one.
anything like we saw before. You know?
Yes, and of course we are very familiar with, by now, with all these anomalous objects, and we made a selection every time that we come here to the Congress of what we think is the most interesting. As you can see, this is the shuttle. Sometimes the object appear more slow, sometimes more faster. Now this is very interesting. As you can see, the camera operator moved the camera and somebody detected some objects on the surface. Now this is where the shuttle landed, and of course all the missions have been very successful. We must recognize that NASA has been doing a terrific job in space, and this is the recent one.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago, the STS-130 from Endeavour.
Okay, I want to remember you that the only way we have these images is because of the work of Santiago Yturria. He stays when the missions are in process, he goes to a room, hides from the wall, takes a lot of food, and records everything, every single minute from every mission. He gets hundreds of hours. Then he has to review every single minute to find where the objects are, because this is presented live by NASA, but it's never repeated. That's the only reason. The only reason we know this is real is because he recorded directly from the direct transmission. Otherwise, NASA would never present this again, and we would never know. There are some comments that where the hell in the world Santiago Yturria and Maussan are getting these images, and this is being said by people from NASA, because they don't know where we are being able to obtain. But anybody can do this. If you want to do this, you can do it. Take the NASA channel, record, and please do. I know this presentation is going to be on YouTube. Listen to me there outside in the world. Record all the NASA missions, and then we will have every single evidence. Unfortunately, probably we are in the last missions for a while. As you know, the space program is going to be cut down. it seems that the war won, not the peace, unfortunately.
Well, let's review the last mission just 2 weeks ago. It was the mission by Shuttle Endeavour, STS-130, as usual. Anomalous objects, as you can see in the lower part of the screen, sometimes they appear in a large number, sometimes alone, sometimes they make strange movements, or as you are going to see in the next clip. Well, this is interesting. This is like some image from a Star Trek picture, but not. This is the real thing in space. As you can see, many things traveling, sometimes more faster, and you are going to see 2 or 3. Look in the lower part of the screen, a big pulsating object. Now, these images is exactly what I'm talking about. These are anomalous things in the space, but you know, this kind of images sometimes appears only in seconds, so we have to be very sure to record them. This is another one. As you can see, the Shuttle Endeavour was approaching the International Space Station, and suddenly what you are seeing in the top of the shuttle is the device that docks to the International Space Station. And this is a long sequence in which you can see suddenly so many objects passing by. Well, can you imagine? Well, the astronauts are there. They can see this action, of course. So the astronauts know a lot of things, no? But, you know, they have to focus in their mission. But we are looking, for example, as you can see, that's another anomalous object. And they describe sometimes even intelligent maneuvers. Well, in this mission, let me tell you, dear friends, we have a wonderful, extraordinary image that you are going to see right now of a big object, luminous object with a very familiar shape. You are going to see it right now, and you tell me if you like it. Of course, more images showing, of course, the extraordinary structure known as the International Space Station in space, one of the wonders of the world, but it's not on Earth, but also this is in space, but it's a wonderful piece of engineering of the human talent. Now, please see in the lower part of the screen, look what is appearing. What you are seeing is the International Space Station, but look what is appearing right there. Look the size, it's huge. What is that? And suddenly, let's make a zoom to see the shape, and you tell me, what does it look for you? Isn't that a saucer-shaped object?
This just happened last week. You are the first to see these images. This is a mission. This is the last mission.
This is very interesting. This object seems to be
behind the panels.
Behind the panels. Now, we are familiar with this incident because 2 years ago we presented a similar incident that we are going to remember. But look first the behavior of this UFO. And it was then changed position and moved to the other solar panels, which, by the way, are huge, are very, very, very big. And it was like reviewing, in some way, the panels, we don't know. And these images were very familiar with us because 2 years ago we have a similar incident in which took us by surprise, by the way.
Yeah, it was the mission 116 in December 22nd, 2006. And then we learned that this intelligence seems to be very interested in the solar panel.
Yes, this is the STS-116.
The object is in the other side of the solar panels.
But look the size, and look what he's doing. And also the camera operator is very interested in this action. Yes, this took place at early hours in the morning, 3 o'clock, I think. So look how the camera operator in Houston is following the action, and look that. This is Since this is simply, oh yes, yes, of course. I mean, you know, space is mysterious, magic, and these images tell you a lot of things. And finally, Jaime?
Yeah, this is the new observatory that was installed in the International Space Station. Probably you haven't seen it. It's beautiful. They can see 360 degrees around them, and I'm very sure they will see many things through here. Now they have a real window to see the world, to see everything around the Earth and around them. It's really unfortunate that the space is going to be affected by the reduction of the budget to do the investigation in the space. I hope this can change in the next few months, in the next few years, and the United States will continue to be the leader there, letting us know what is out there.
So farewell, endeavor. The era of the shuttles are coming to an end, and let's wait to see what the future brings to us.
The Endeavor, this was the last trip to Endeavor to space. Now, if you allow me, my dear friend William Rowling, I had a chance to see this video 2 days ago, and I was very impressed. He records this video from his house, I believe in California.
Monterrey, California.
He takes the night vision, puts a camera there, and I'm going to present 2 videos from him that prove somehow that what you just saw can be seen from the Earth if you have the right equipment. A telescope with night shot. That's what he does. For example, here, you can see this object in the space moving. It's so much higher than any airplane, and it's not a satellite because we can see other objects moving in different directions. If these were satellites, it would move just in one direction. Here
now,
you have in 2 different directions.
Yes, now it increases the speed, and there is another one on the opposite direction. Do you see it?
It's exactly what they see in the space. You can see it from your home. And look at, now look at this one. This is, the next is very impressive to me. And this is the work of William Rawlings. He has his booth there, and you can look what happened. Is this the one? No.
No, it's the following. Just wait to see what you are going to see. Is an amazing display, because we just call that. Just follow this light that is pointing Jaime, and look what is going to happen right there. And then, you see it? Look at that. And then, isn't that a demonstration? And remember, this was recorded with the night vision goggles by William in Monterrey, California, and in his home, outside, in the garden. Yeah, and he records every day. He's a devoted sky watcher, wonderful work of research.
Okay, now, just a couple of shots that were taken by the stereo mission that is around the sun, and this has created a lot of controversy. And I just wanted to present you a couple of pictures of this, because very recently, January 18th, These projects, the satellite stereo, which are 2 satellites in both sides of the sun, were able to obtain these pictures. You can see these objects very close to the sun, and if this is real, of course this is the sun, it would be the size of our planet. If these are UFOs, these are as big as our planet. And we are going to continue observing these. I mean, we are going to follow this process because the explanation that NASA gave us is unacceptable. They say that it's a failure of the system and etc., etc. These are some of the main events in Mexico and around the world, some of the most meaningful around the world, like this one, recorded the 3rd of March, 2009, outside Moscow. This video was presented by the Russian television, and we were able to translate this, and I think it's very interesting. Look at it, please.
Сидеть надоело мне, лапа сложа. Я очень хотел бы пойти в сторожа. Висит объявление у наших ворот. Собака нужна, сторожить огород. Ты меня знаешь, я храбрый щенок. Появится кошка, собью ее с ног. Я тявкать умею честь. Умею своих и чужих кричать. Котята боятся меня как огня. Скажи мне по совести, примут меня?
Хорошо. Молодец. Ух ты, смотри, молодежь, что там на улице? Шарик какой-то.
Ух ты!
Ух ты, как интересно, что это за шарик такой?
НЛО, может быть?
Да какие НЛО? Разве бывает НЛО? Смотри-ка, он двигается, да?
Ну вот. Похоже на скапли.
Механизмы стрельбы подозрительным образом.
Я тоже сниму.
У всех этих орудий были собраны
Ты.
Все это в очередной раз подтвердило информацию спецслужб о наличии в Кремле некой группы людей, желающих создания мятежного генерала.
I think this is very interesting because it's very similar to the many spheres that many people have recorded in Mexico and around the world. And now we have one of those spheres. Many people have told us this, that they come close to the houses, they observe people through the windows, and they get very, very close. But we never had a video like this. And that's why I think it's very meaningful. Again, another video from Russia, because Russia has become one of the centers of the activity of this phenomenon. And this is very interesting because it's very similar to a UFO that was photographed in Mexico last year. Watch it. We haven't found any trace of manipulating the image. And this was very interesting because last year we had these 4 photographs, and just in the first one that was taken by a young kid, 14-year-old young kid inside the school, and all his friends saw the picture that was taken, and we thought that was very interesting and very similar to the video we just saw from Russia. It's the same object. And this kid in Mexico took 4 photographs. Just in the first one, he got the image of the UFO. In the other 3, it wasn't. And every picture has a difference of half a second. Then, the object moved in less than half a second to be in one picture and not in the next. Exactly the same attitude we saw in the UFO in Russia. Now this image was taken if you remember the Mauricio Ruiz case in Alvin, Texas, this was taken the next night. And we think was very interesting, this was taken by a neighbor next house to Mauricio Ruiz, who took the incredible UFO video that we presented in the last 2 years, and which has proved that produces high magnetic energy. Again, another video from Russia, 25th of April, a fleet, like we have seen many in Mexico. The same night, in Slovakia, was also recorded by the police, a fleet. This was videotaped by the police in Slovakia. It's interesting because now the fleet phenomenon is all around the world. If you remember, a few years ago we talked this and was almost in Mexico, exclusively in Mexico. Now it's around the world. I'm going to present now, with the permission of my friend Haktan Hakdogan from Turkey, these 3 videos recorded by Yalcin Yalman. I had a chance to be there with my friend Roger Lear, and he told me, you can quote me, I never seen so much UFO activity in my life as I saw in one night in Kumburgas. Is that right, Roger? Are you there? No, he's not. Okay, he told me that, and to tell you this, and you can ask him, because I was witness. I was witness to of the incredible interest that there is in Turkey around the phenomenon. The national television live, frequently was with us. They went to the Congress that Haktan Hakdogan organized in Istanbul, and incredibly our friend Antonio Ursi, who was here last year, and he recorded an sphere outside this hotel. He did the same outside the auditorium of the Congress, and the national television was there, and they were able to record it too. And all of this was presented in the news, national level, by the national television of Turkey. Because of all of this, they went next night with us to the beach to make a skywatch.
Doctor himself.
Do you want to tell us what you saw in Kumburgas?
It's actually when we came back from Turkey, I was telling everybody that we saw so many UFOs, I was tired of looking at them. But this small town on the European coast of Turkey, Kumburgas, we stayed up from 12 o'clock at night to about 5 o'clock in the morning. And in doing so, we saw absolutely some phenomenal things, and things that were duplicated that had been seen the previous year. So I'm sure Jaime has got some of that that he's going to show you, so you'll be quite fascinated.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Jaime.
Thank you, Roy.
Now I'm going to present you 3 videos recorded by Yalcin Yalman, this man who works at night at the beach. Works at night in the beach. And many times Haktan has been there with him. And we decided to do the same because we wanted to be witness, and we saw many, many things. We weren't there when he recorded these 3 incredible videos. We didn't have this log with so many things, but this is just amazing. This was recorded May 13, 2009. He has a GL1 camera by Canon. It's discontinued, But if you get one and you can put an, a complement to the lens,
an accessory,
you can duplicate to 200x. This is another video he recorded very early in the morning, 5:20. It was getting clear. You can see the UFO, and you can see this dog barking to the UFO. And the best video that Yalcin Yalman, I believe, has he ever recorded was in May 17, 2009. I don't know if Haktan Hagdogan, who is the expert in this, agrees, but you can see the object and you can see one of the creatures inside with the door open. And there are at least 4 doors open. And this is very important because this time Yalcin Yalman had a reference point, which is the moon. The moon is there. Without cutting the take, he goes back to the object, he zooms in, and then you can see that the object is there. And the camera is really powerful. Why are all these objects appearing over the Marmara Sea or Marmara Sea? We found that there is a fault that produces big earthquakes every 20 years or so. The last one was in 1999, I believe the 20th of August, if I am correct, and more than 20,000 people died in Turkey because of that fault. Are they there because they are investigating the fault, they are taking energy of the fault, or they are controlling the fault? I don't know. But what is happening in Turkey, especially in the Sea of Marmara or Marmara, is really important. Our friend Antonio Ursi again recorded a very interesting UFO the 21st of May. I never seen a UFO like this. This is the last important image that he got. He has continued observing the sky. I am pretty sure very soon he will have another beautiful sighting, and probably something else in the future. I believe he's being prepared for something really, really big. I consider him the new Billy Mayer. I've been there, and I can tell you all these images are real. And this is the video you talked to them, right?
Yes. Now, to the big part of the show, if I may say that, because everything is good. But this one, Jaime will tell you exactly how this sighting took place, because it's important, the information about who recorded this sighting, and they will show you exactly how it was, this sighting took place.
It's very important, this video. It happened 2 hours after an earthquake in Mexico City. Not a huge earthquake, 5.0 earthquake, a medium earthquake. Pedro Hernandez, who lives in Metepec, exactly the area where the creature was captured, that I will talk about that later. But exactly where we have many sightings, we have the extraterrestrial recorded by Sara Cuevas in 1994, and we have so many other events happening in Metepec. Okay, Pedro Hernandez lives there, but this time he was outside Mexico City. He was not in his hometown. He was north of Mexico City. He was traveling in a bus when he saw this object. He went down the bus and took the camera and recorded the object. This is important. He had the sun in his back. And it's important because we have a second witness with a video camera recording the same event in the other side. That's against the sun. Because of that, you will see the same object with two different colors. First, please watch it carefully. This is the video recorded by Pedro Hernandez a little bit after 5 o'clock, the 22nd of May, 2009.
Look in the center how the big UFO is spinning and at the same time releasing two rows on of spheres.
Hundreds of spheres.
Hundreds. So the spheres went away. And then the big UFO slowed down the rotation. But wait to see what happened next.
Then four little spheres come around and go around the object, like recognizing the mother, and going now away. And they come back and they create what we call fleet. Probably this is a very important video because for the first time we now know how these spheres come. This is the second video.
By Alfredo Carrillo. Look.
Releasing so many.
Yeah.
You see, it's in the opposite direction, and now they look black. But it's exactly the same. We have been able to see every detail, and you can see how they look intelligent. They're not just going away, they're in a line. The object now is speeding up and slowing down.
This is a comparison of both videos. Do you like it? Well, this is something, let me tell you, huh? Certainly one of a kind. And
even now, look, you cannot almost see it, but the spheres, the little black spheres are around as the other ones are here. It's just the same moment. Because many people will say, oh, that was created with a computer. But then, fortunately, we have the second witness. We have the name of both. We know where they were. We went there. And we know this is absolutely real. Okay. Thank you.
So we are now expecting a new one, hopefully. Let's see. And this video is very important because has so much information for us or for everybody to try to understand what the UFO fleets mean. I mean, we have been witness of many, but this could be the answer, or maybe can help a lot for us to understand the origin of the UFO fleets.
Okay, now let's watch this continuation. The 29th of May, we had a fleet. We can see how this fleet is moving. And now this sphere recorded by Antonio Ursi, the 2nd of July in Capilla del Monte in Argentina. He was again invited to have a presentation in Argentina. And then he recorded probably the best video ever that I've seen from a sphere. But this was not in his country, this was...
And there are several witnesses you are going to see to this sighting.
Very close to Mount Uritorco, which is a legend in Argentina as a place of sightings. They took...
Here are the witnesses. They are excited by this sighting, quite unique.
Hola, perro.
And also the rose. Now this is in China.
July 22nd, 2009. We have the same kind of total solar eclipse that started everything in Mexico, July 11th, 1991. This series occurs every 18 years and 11 days. it means that after July 11th, 1991, 18 years later, 2009, and 11 days to July 22nd, we would have the same eclipse. In Mexico lasted 6 minutes and 54 seconds. In China, 6 minutes and 39 seconds. Happened exactly the same. People went out to see the eclipse, and they recorded UFOs.
佢就開始閃，用肉眼睇到開始閃，有啲光有人睇，咁樣咧佢一直都喺度飛，直至到我影低最後一張相之後。
The Chinese government took all these images and they promised to give an answer in 1 year. I don't know why they will take a year to have an answer of something that is so obvious. But for the first time, this is an official promise. I don't know if they will keep this promise, but we can see these objects somehow similar to those recorded in Mexico on the same event. What this means? It means that these intelligences use these kind of events to present themselves. Are they markers? Because after this happened in China, the same kind of phenomenon started in China. That is a flap. We can remember very fast the eclipse in Mexico. We can see now the old cameras that we were using 18 years ago in Mexico, the VHS cameras, if you remember that.
This was an historic event that began the amazing Mexican UFO way, July 11, 1991, and there it is.
This is David Arreguin footage, the first that was presented after we presented this in television. This video changed my life because when I presented this in television, so many other people gave me videos and I couldn't get away from this phenomenon. I was trapped by it. And until now, I am still receiving videos. This was the second video, the same object. Then some people said, oh, has to be Venus, has to have an explanation. However, fortunately, we had a third video that I believe proves that this doesn't have a conventional explanation. You can see both. And now this is the third video, and please watch how the object is very near a dot, which we think is Venus. The camera goes down. When it goes up, the dot is not there. The dot is above the object. Here you have it, okay? It's two dots, as a matter of fact, which I think are Venus and Mercury. But then, when the object moves and the camera moves, the dot is not there. The dot is here. Then it proves that the object in 3 minutes moved very far away from the dots. And for that reason, this cannot be considered Venus. And from then on, we have so many sightings in Mexico. Okay, we continue through the year in the world. Antonio Ursi again, now downtown Milan. We can see now again a fleet in Milan. The same spheres.
Just like in Mexico, the phenomena, and it was recorded also by the TV news cameras.
Oh yeah, it was
the media.
Recorded by the Ray Television.
Look, like there, Ray Television. So there is no mistake. This is a real UFO fleet in Italy, in Milan.
I think are the same objects that were observed in Second World War. We have another fleet in Mexico City, again, 29 of September. Not very clear, they are very high, but they are there.
City Noticias de las 8.
November 20th. Now it's in Bogota, in Colombia. In Mexico, people are not amazed anymore. No, nothing happens. Oh, we have a big sighting. Oh, yeah, one more time, and that's it, you know. No problem. In Colombia, now it's still big news, you know.
Míralos ahí. Hay dos.
And this UFO fleet caused certain commotion, stir.
2 days later, in Metepec, Pedro Hernandez, again, the same man who recorded May 22nd, he was recording this airplane. He knows, he likes to go, record airplanes because he says that many times, close to the airplanes, you can see.
There it is, a UFO. And look at that. So
a very energetic object.
These are the actual UFO sightings that we're having in Mexico City, among other things. But wait, because what you are going to see next is extremely weird and bizarre. Jaime and I are very disconcerted. This is another fleet.
This is another fleet, 5 of December.
Black objects. Maybe in this fleet happens the same thing, that the sun is on the back.
The sun is on the other side. When the
That's
sun
why
is
you
on the
can
other
see
side,
yes.
They look black.
But as you can see, the formation all the time is preserved, no mistake, and the UFO
and now,
but wait.
As Santiago said, this is really, really weird.
You know, this sighting, we are very disconcerted by this thing in the sky.
What is this?
We don't know how to call it. Just watch carefully, and it's morphing itself. What can it be? This is in Mexico City. A video by one of our most respected sky watchers. But look, the lights and the strange dark, like cloud or like strange substance around. But I mean, these are the kind of sightings that we are having now in Mexico.
It's like a cloud and it has energy inside, or what? Or what?
And it's huge. So we are now having strange sighting of an unknown kind.
This is really unexplainable. And this was recorded a week ago, 20th of February.
At certain times, it looked like a flying humanoid. You remember the flying humanoid sightings, also very weird phenomena. And sometimes the light is so intense, we think it has its own light. It's not the sunlight with reflecting, but
Probably you remember the one that was recorded in 2005 by Horacio Roquet.
This is the most
another flying
mysterious
humanoid.
The most mysterious of all flying humanoids. Look at that. And it has some kind of device on the feet and also a light. So what do you think? Would you like to witness something like this outside of your home?
There is a legend. Quetzalcoatl is the divine serpent, is the god. The serpent that can fly. The bird serpent. The colorful serpent. Is that a legend or has some reality behind? I'm going to present you this continuation, because now is more, we can see more often this. We can see continuously sightings of the so-called OVNIs, which are, I call them biological entities, unidentified biological entities, because I don't know how to call them. And there are many more witnesses now recording the same. This first one is from 2007, and I present this because you can clearly see how this thing, whatever it is, changes colors. When it changes colors, you cannot say it's a balloon, a group of balloons together, or what. It's the same object, but now has different colors, or different shape, or different, how you say,
different characteristics, and it's interesting to see how it moves smoothly. It's a very high altitude, you know, it's a very high altitude. So it attracts our attention, how it keeps all the time the same characteristics in its shape.
Different patterns.
It doesn't bend. Okay. So at that altitude, now this is another one.
This is from November the 8th, 2009, and this is Arturo Robles Gil, again recording this. You can see the movements of these things, and you can consider that it is prohibited to fly these kind of things in Mexico, because the airport is almost downtown Mexico City. Then to have this in downtown, in the central part of Mexico, is really dangerous, because these objects...
This is interesting. This video is interesting. Can you see the small orb?
The size of these objects is around 50 meters, probably.
Many times these objects release spheres, or many times there are what we call the vigilante, big sphere very near.
Okay, now we have a different UFO hunter, which is Octavio Hernandez, and he records with an X-ray camera. And you can see after the object left, there is a fleet behind it. Okay, let me put the fleet because you didn't see it. And I believe there is a relation too between these objects and the presence of the so many spheres. Here you have something similar and different at the same time. The movements, the shape is like a scratching, yes.
And there it is, again, a small sphere to the right. Well, these kind of shapes always disconcert us, because the size, the movement, sometimes airplane came closer. I think we have a clip, is that right, Jaime?
Hmm?
I think we have a clip with an airplane,
yes,
passing by very close.
Yes, we have.
And but there has not been a single accident yet.
Again, we have a fleet after the presence of the object, like it releases all the spheres. The legend says that Quetzalcoatl, the divine serpent, would come back to claim its kingdom. And that would happen before the end of times, the beginning of the new era. Again, we are close to 2012, and it's amazing how these sightings have increased. You have had some, especially in Los Angeles area in California. We have videos from England and Portugal.
Portugal.
And probably some other places, but we have them in different countries, very, very especially in Mexico. This is a new UFO hunter. It's Ismael Lopez, and he has recorded beautiful, beautiful videos where you can see the movements of the objects or organisms or whatever they are. This has to be huge. This has to be more than 50 meters long, probably 100 meters, bigger than an airplane. And if an airplane confronted with these things could have an accident, a crash, even if these things go inside the turbines, would stop the airplane, even if they were balloons, then this is terribly dangerous. Sometimes they are with what we call a sentinel, a little sphere that watches very close to the big object. You can see that, and look how fast both are moving now. It's like the little thing is taking the big one away.
Now you're going to see the video that I was talking about.
This is the one with the airplane,
yes.
Santiago.
Just watch carefully because you will see the airplane, commercial airplane, passing by very close.
As a matter of fact, an American Airlines plane.
Look at that. And look. Well, that was very risky. And you see?
Okay, probably many of you were here a year ago when I presented this creature. Mr. John Rao, who is going to hold this conference after next year, and myself share the property of this creature. I've been investigating this creature in Mexico. We are very close to finish the investigation. And we have amazing results that I'm going to present to you. And I have offered John Rao that when we have a letter from a scientific institution in the United States, a university, or someone who has the power to introduce this creature legally to the United States, we will continue the investigation here. So far, I haven't been able to move it from Mexico. I even pay the transportation and everything needed for scientists from a university in Europe. I cannot reveal at this moment which one yet. Went to Mexico just a month ago to continue this investigation. Next week I have an appointment with the National University of Mexico to see if they can take the case, they can review everything we have obtained, and we can receive the support of the National University of Mexico, because we are in front of an extraordinary case. This creature remains unknown. As you know, was captured May 11th, 2007, and it was drowned 30 hours after it was captured. The analysis done to this creature revealed that it could not survive on this atmosphere, even in water. If it cannot survive on this atmosphere or in water, where it comes from? All the scientists that we have talked to, that have investigated, except, well, not all of them, most of them, have told us we believe it's a primate, it's a monkey. A monkey, as the people from Europe said, from the New World. And I said, and I have asked many times, which monkey? And they say, we don't know. We don't know yet. We will find out. And they haven't so far. If this is not a monkey, and I don't think it's a monkey, what it is, where it comes from. I don't think it's the kind of creature that can take a craft from somewhere else, from deep in the universe, to the earth. Okay, I don't think that. Where it comes from? You know, it's a real mystery. How it came to earth? Are there parallel universes? Are there doors in Metepec where they connect to each other? We remember the extraterrestrial that I presented back in 1994 in this conference. Probably you can ask Bob Brown for my presentation back in 1994, because that video now it's gone. And you can get that here. And the extraterrestrial there is just amazing. And it's the same place, Metepec. I believe there is something very special in this place, Metepec. Okay, you saw this picture. You saw the picture of this creature. You saw the feet. They look very human. The hands look very human. The skin is the real skin. It's not a skinned monkey. That has been proven. For those who say it's a skinned monkey are absolutely wrong. Okay? You can see the little details. In 1 year that I was here to now, we have done everything possible with this. This is a new picture that I am presenting you. It's a picture that I obtained through other people. And you can see how the arm was captured there. You can see the face. You can see that the creature is alive. You can see the hand that is very similar to us. I'm sorry I had to protect the images, but that was the only way I could present them to you. I think Mr. John Rao is also going to make a big presentation out of this. Look the eyes. This looks very extraterrestrial. I'm not saying it is, okay? I'm saying very clearly, this is an unknown creature. And this is a very important picture. Look the ear. Look the back of the head. Look how it is. Do you think this is a monkey? I don't think so. Then, if the DNA that they obtained, we have made 6 analyses of DNA. 6. Not too many creatures receive 6 analyses of DNA. Just in one of them, it was found that was human. Human. That's why the scientists from Europe came to Mexico. And they said to me, this cannot be human. The samples had to be polluted. But I can tell you, as I told them, the samples were not polluted. I was there. I saw that the expert who took the samples did it carefully, with a mask in the mouth, with gloves, with a closed environment, very carefully, and that he took those samples from inside the body. It is absolutely impossible that those samples were polluted. However, it's what they have to say. Okay, they took different samples now. They went back to Europe, and they will have an answer very soon. Everybody asks me, when? I cannot pressure them. They are really good, they are very professional, and I like them very much, and I think they are good people. I hope if they find what I think they're going to find, they will have the courage to release it. Or I hope we are lucky enough to find those scientists who can take the risk to say the truth when they made and finish this investigation. This is another picture that I presented last year. There are more pictures, but we're going to reserve that for last, for another occasion. But this is enough. This is enough to prove that we have something here that doesn't look like anything we know, that we understand that this creature was alive at that moment. Here, you see it dead. There is dead. Okay, they drowned it, they tried to drown it twice, and they finally drowned it. They did it for 30 minutes 2 times, they tried, and finally all night. Had to die, unfortunately, and I don't think it was right. I wish I knew. I wish I knew this was alive. I would have done my best to keep this alive.
Observamos de occipucio de que está prominente, está más, no es el normal de un ser humano normal, que debe estar cortado, que está prominente, está como casco de los que usan de la bicicleta de protección. Okay. Llama la atención obviamente pues, la presencia de esta prominencia que es la cola, los dientes, que de acuerdo al experto en odontología, es la misma cantidad de dientes que se tienen, que es de 28. Por las características, son características humanoides, aunque presenta o tiene la presencia de una cola de bastantes centímetros, casi del mismo tamaño del cuerpo. Tiene características faciales en los dientes, por ejemplo, las características también humanas. El resto del cuerpo más bien parece humano.
Y nos llamó la atención un poquito el oído interno que le vimos con la tomografía. Era un oído aparentemente complejo. Este espécimen tiene una cosa que se llaman conductos semicirculares diferentes, orientados en maneras diferentes. O sea, el del hombre aparentemente forman 3 planos ortogonales, este es un poquito más complejo, tiene más conductos semicirculares y tiene otras estructuras más dilatadas y más grandes. O sea, básicamente sí es diferente. El oído, esa parte del oído se encarga del equilibrio, ¿no? De orientarnos en el espacio. Al menos diría uno que es un animal que se orienta o que vive en un medio diferente, un medio ya sea aéreo, ya sea acuático, no sé. En base a lo que estamos viendo podemos inferir que es un animal que tiene ciertas estructuras cerebrales más grandes que otras. ¿Por qué? Porque tiene una tienda o una cubierta que se llama tienda del cerebelo muy arriba, y por decirlo también de alguna manera, y eso de manera indirecta nos dice que es un animal que tiene un cerebelo, o que el contenido de esa cajita es más grande de lo normal, si lo comparamos con el de un hombre, ¿no? Entonces también, una vez más, asumiendo que eso pudiera encargarse del equilibrio y de los movimientos finos, sería un animal que hace movimientos rápidos, que tiene muy desarrollado el equilibrio, y si junto a eso lo aunamos a lo del oído, con más conductos o diferentes tipos de conductos semicirculares, podríamos decir que es un animal que sí es hábil, rápido, con movimientos finos, digamos.
Yo de primera intención, al estarlo revisando, había yo considerado que había sido desollado, y había sido desollado post-mortem, es decir, que el ser había muerto en alguna otra condición, se le había quitado la piel, los epitelios, con lo que haya estado forrado, hablemos en términos prácticos, y había sido plantado. Sin embargo, al estar reevaluando nuevos cortes, al estar reevaluando nuevamente los tejidos, observamos un tejido de revestimiento rudimentario, pero finalmente tejido de revestimiento, y esto finalmente nos hace llegar a la conclusión de que este ser, así como está,
así era como era.
Así era como era.
¿A dónde lo lleva eso?
Muy buena pregunta, porque finalmente estaríamos, como una vez lo comenté, como una de mis hipótesis de trabajo, ante un ente, ante una entidad no descrita, no conocida, en primer término, ¿no?
O sea que esto es verdaderamente extraordinario.
Llama muchísimo la atención, es extraordinario. Yo particularmente, y mire que he visto cosas sorprendentes, no me había topado con un ser de este tipo.
¿Este tejido de revestimiento haría las peces de piel?
Sí, sí, definitivamente. O sea, sería el equivalente a nuestra piel, a las escamas de los peces, al de piel y plumaje en las aves, etcétera, ¿no? Un tejido muy primitivo, bueno, más que primitivo, no apto para la atmósfera como la concebimos aquí, ni siquiera para el agua, ¿no?
O sea, esto tiene que venir de otra parte.
Pues muy seguramente sí.
Recordando ahí un poco, era un animal no común de lo que cualquier ser humano podemos ver cotidianamente. Me llama mucho la atención cuando lo tienen en una mesa de trabajo, como un mesa de trabajo y de madera, y lo tienen atrapado en una trampa, y este animal, cuando nos acercamos a ver, no había mucha iluminación en el lugar, pero se levantó, se irguió, y me llamó la atención. Al verlo físicamente, dije, esto no es algo normal.
¿Estaba vivo?
Estaba vivo, porque se levantó, o sea, no era muy grande, mediría 20 centímetros, no más, pero la forma en que se irguió y que nos miró, a un ser humano pues uno le ve, o a cualquier animal le nota la brillantez de los ojos. Estos no eran así, era más bien un poco opaco el panorama de sus ojos. Lo que llamaba un poco más la atención era el ruido extraño que emitía. Si me dijera, bueno, es un animal de 4 patas y parece perro, pues ladra, ¿no? Si es un ratón, bueno, pues dice chilla, ¿no? No, era un sonido ronco, grave, que yo podría haber asimilado como de dolor, ¿no? Eso que notaba yo, que eso también me hizo suponer algo más extraño, era la brillantez con la piel, pero además que era como blanco, no era, vamos a decir, no era pelo, sino era una textura de piel como si estuviera mojado, como los delfines, esa brillantez, ¿no? Pero en un tono, pues, transparente o más bien claro, ¿no? No se veía agresivo, pero lo que llamaba la atención era la mirada o lo que parecía ser una llamada, porque el ojo era sin tener, como nosotros que tenemos una corona y la niña del ojo, no lo tenía. Eso fue lo que me llamó más la atención. Al otro día yo le pregunté que qué había pasado. Me dijo, no, ya los muchachos del lugar lo metieron en agua con sal para matarlo. Le digo, oiga, pero no lo debió de haber matado. No. Y se empezó a hacer ruidos todavía más extenuantes. Y así es como es la historia de este ser, ¿no?
Sí, ese mismo día que cayó en la trampa. Es decir, no sé, a lo mejor 1 hora o media hora después de que lo agarraron o cayó en la trampa, me habló don Mario para que fuera a verlo, porque estaba totalmente sorprendido también del animal.
¿Y cuál fue tu impresión a la hora que lo viste?
Pues realmente así como que de susto, porque me dio pánico en el momento que lo vi, porque yo no duré más que 2 minutos viéndolo y me retiré otra vez a mi trabajo.
¿Sí te hizo contacto visual el ser?
Sí, de hecho a todos los que veía, porque como estábamos alrededor de él, a todos volteaba a vernos. Es decir, por la desesperación a lo mejor quería atacar a alguien, no sé, porque ella estaba comiendo la misma mano de él, se la estaba comiendo la que tenía atrapada en la trampa.
¿Tú cuando llegaste ahí ya se había comido la mano?
Ya se la había comido, de hecho yo no la vi, ya no vi cómo se la comió. Yo cuando llegué ya no tenía la mano.
¿Tenía sangre?
En la boca sí, o en el hocico sí tenía sangre. Pero nada más, ya no vi de más cosas, pues.
¿De qué color era?
De hecho, él no tenía, bueno, aparentaba no tener piel y era de color rosa, algo así más o menos, o transparente, no sé. Y tenía los ojos oscuros como un gris Oxford, totalmente oscuros.
No parpadeaba.
Nunca vi que parpadeara, Los 2 minutos que lo vi nunca vi que parpadeara.
Son las pruebas del DNA. Para aquellos que saben, pues aparentemente el resultado de esto se trata de un DNA similar al de los seres humanos. vimos... Oh. Oh, how interesting, isn't it? How interesting. I'm sorry, I was listening in Spanish and I just... Okay, thank you, Santiago. Okay. Okay, let's start again. This is the DNA. We can see it. This is the DNA that was obtained by this university in Europe. They asked me not to tell who they were until this is finished, but this is what they did, and we can see, or those who understand, they will find that this is human DNA. I present this because there were some people who were saying that we hadn't done this and this was not true. It's true. It's true, and this case has attracted the attention from all over the world, especially Germany. The news from Germany went there. The most important paper, History Channel, went there. From China, Japan, Korea, and other places. And I think this is going to grow even more. And I hope this will become the physical evidence that many people have been waiting for so long. We don't know yet. We have to be very careful. We have to do it as science marks that this has to be done. But we will be there to be sure that the truth will be said. Thank you. Serpents there. We have found many signs that look like all scriptures from all cultures. This looks Aztec. Many times the formations look Mayan. This is the inconclusive because it appears in two different fields. In corn, and in wheat, and pastizal, and in grass. This is Mayan. This is talking about the sun cycle. We have to be very careful with the sun. Believe me, I think if something happens in 2012, the sun is going to be responsible. Now the activity of the sun is growing very, very fast. It is slowed down for 3 years. I was there when this formation appeared. It rained all night, all night. It was really wet that morning. And it was there, and it was perfect. And this is a beautiful owl. Look at it now, how beautiful it is, how perfect it is. Look how nice is this formation, how complex it is. And this was the last. And this, according to some, is the sun and the wind of the sun. I don't know. As you remember, oh well, we have many formations this year in different countries, Germany, Italy, Spain, Russia, different countries, Slovakia. Okay. You see the phenomenon is growing, and these are signs. And if you look inside the formations, the detail we found last year is like they are handmade now. It was amazing. Look at it. For those who think that this can be done in a simple manner, we saw so much more last year. For many, this was the most important season ever. And look at this one. A friend of mine recorded this. Next day, a formation was there. For me, there is no question. This is related to another intelligence, and these are messages. We remember last year this incredible cross. I don't think it has a religious meaning. I think it's a message of love. I think it's a message to remind us that we have to love each other. Is beware. It's the second message we had, the first one in 2002. Much pain, but it's still time. Second, beware. I think the third is coming, and it's going to be the key for what it means, really. When we arrived, this formation had been caught, but it was surprising because it was still there, like it was waiting for us. And then we remember this from 2005, August 14, 2005, seven spheres making this beautiful cross in
Florida.
San Petersburg?
No, San Petersburg,
Florida. St. Petersburg in Florida, just 15 days before Katrina. And we have this from December 2008 in Russia. What it means is what I told you. It's not religious, it's very human. And the way to confront any kind of danger is by being together. It's very difficult. I understand it's like almost utopic. But I think we have to find a way to be brothers again. Something very incredible and interesting is that these signs that have been appearing in different places like this in Russia.
Yes, as you can see, very strange cloud that resembles human eyes. What could this be?
Probably signs in the sky. Some people say, oh, well, yeah, that's a coincidence.
This is another one.
But then we have a second coincidence, also in Russia, right?
Also in Russia.
And the third is also in Russia. And it's natural, it's a phenomenon. Something very important happened December 9th, 2009. First in Moscow, in Russia, two young people were moving in a car, and they recorded with a cellular phone something very extraordinary. We have analyzed this video over and over and over. the possibility of this being a hoax are really, really dim, almost non-existent. I would be very surprised if this is not real. I want you to look at it because it is like in the United States, not too many people realize of what happened in Moscow over the Red Square, the Kremlin, around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning of December the 9th, 2009. This was presented by the news in Russia. And you can see here this large pyramid floating over the Kremlin.
На одном ролике объект заснят ночью из окна машины, а на другом, вот вы сейчас видите его, днем. Оба видео о вторжении инопланетян, в кавычках, естественно, были сделаны любителями. Однако тема НЛО, как обычно, стала настоящей сенсацией. И ролики попали в топ русскоязычной версии YouTube. Как написала по этому поводу британская Daily Telegraph, журналисты сообщили об НЛО, но никаких комментариев из официальных источников сделано не было.
И вот это сейчас мы увидим. Фигура правильной пирамидальной
формы,
вокруг своей оси. В интернете уже полно комментариев, в частности на YouTube. Кто-то уверен, что инопланетяне заинтересовались политической жизнью России.
It is not very clear, but it's there, and it's more than 1,000 meters long.
Сердце столицы. Скептики, как
Just consider that, what it means.
Что это голографические спецэффекты.
And we have something similar in the morning presented by the news. We don't know if it's the same. We don't know if it's the same place or it's a different place. But this was also presented by the Russian media. We are trying to make a deep investigation in Moscow to understand what happened, because on June 29, 2003, we have the same in Mexico City. This is the cover of an important newspaper in Mexico, Uno más Uno, 1 plus 1. And you can read here, it's a commotion thousands, more than 50 meters per side, and it's gray, and was seen close to Santa Fe Center, which is outside Mexico City. This was recorded at 23rd of May 2009 by Arturo Robles Gil. Looks also like a pyramid above Mexico City. The same next month, the month after this, was recorded in Southampton, in England. These UFOs, these pyramid UFOs, or whatever you want to call them, are becoming common around the world. And I think we should look to them carefully. This was recorded in Metepec, November 22nd, 2009, by Pedro Hernandez, one more time.
And as you can see, the shape is very clear. It's a triangle-shaped UFO, more like a pyramid shape, and it's descending, as you can see here. Now, these videos are important because reveal that these kind of objects really exist and are appearing.
On December 11th, again in Russia, the Russia television presented this object, looks like a pyramid, having a tail over Moscow too. Moscow, huh? Yeah. Okay. Just a few minutes after that. Thank you. Just a few minutes after that, 7:50 in the morning, in Tromsø, in Norway, there was a Blu-ray coming and then making a spiral. This spiral was photographed by probably hundreds of people in Tromsø, and they also recorded the videos of the object or whatever it was. Just a few minutes later, somebody, a scientist said, "Oh, this has to be a missile from Russia." They found out, yes, Russia was making some exercises 1,000 miles away. They immediately, automatically considered this has to be a Russian missile. Next day, it was all over, the mystery solved, it was a missile from Russia. The captain of the ship said, we sent a missile, but that was all we did, and that's it. The mystery was solved. The media didn't take this in consideration anymore. 5 days later, the Secretary of Defense of Russia says, it was not ours. We know that what we sent went not into Norway. It was not ours. Can you imagine a missile going to Norway because it failed? That would be a terrible problem for Russia. Then the Secretary of Defense from Norway says it was not Russian. This was not a missile. But the media is not listening anymore. This information was never released. The mystery was solved, and that's all we wanted to know. But the truth is that the mystery remains, and it's even bigger, as I'm going to show you right now, please. You can see some of the images, and you can tell me if you think this is a missile. Is this a sign in the sky? These are some of the videos, and you can clearly see a big black hole that is created inside. Is this a dimensional door? Is this a message? What it is? The thing is that this has happened before. It happened in China in 1988.
At that time, the Chinese TV news gave a full report of this strange phenomena in the skies of China. As you can see, very similar to the one from Norway.
It changed of directions. Please look at it very carefully.
This changed directions from one side to the other.
It's going one side and then the other.
So we discovered this in the archive, and we made a comparison. And look how similar they are. And then,
this is very important because we have a very old proof. We have petroglyphs all around the world with these spirals. I've seen them, and I always ask myself, what is this? Please, let's watch it, please. Let's watch it.
These are the petroglyphs, which have been considered at least 3,000 years old.
No, 1,000 no, 5,000, 10,000,
some of them
20,000 years old.
And they are all over.
All over the world.
But now we have some link with the spiral.
It means that these are signs. Look at this. These are in England, and it's almost the same. And we have many. We present you just a couple of examples from England. But now, something even more extraordinary. In February 18th, 2010, we have something that had never happened before.
And also
this
in Norway.
is in Finland. This is Tromsø. This is Tromsø, Norway. This is Aurora Borealis making a spiral. But something extraordinary happened. The same day, more than 1,000 kilometers away, 600 miles away, the same thing happened, but in Finland, at the same time.
Coincidence or not? And these are beautiful pictures taken by professional photographers.
This is in Finland. All these pictures were presented by spaceweather.com, which is a site by NASA. Then you can consider this official. There is no possibility that those are fakes. And the most incredible thing is that this morning I wake up with an incredible news. Jaime, there is a third one. And this happened 2 days ago. And this happened again in Norway.
And there it is.
In Valoya, Norway, we have the third spiral in the sky as an aurora. Are these signs in the sky? Are these signs on earth? It's the Bible says before the end of times you will see signs on the earth and on the sky, right? And this is not all. Now I have what this is for my friend Bob Brown, for his family. This is a first. This is the release, official release. I had to present this briefly in a television program, and you will understand why I had to do it. But this is the official release of this evidence that I've been investigating since October that I received it. Last October I had a series of presentations in Los Angeles with my dear friend Javier Martinez. And somebody came to me with a picture and he said, "What do you think?" And I said, if this is real, it's extraordinary. Do you want to investigate this? And I said, yes, okay, the people who took the picture will come tomorrow. She didn't come, but she sent me the picture. And I started the investigation. I have some reserves, but they have been proved wrong, because I can put my hand on fire that what you are going to see is real. It has been tested by people in Mexico City, in Monterrey, where Santiago lives, and in Italy. The three experts agree this is a real picture, this is not Adobe Photoshop, this is not a hoax. And besides, I found a very famous man from the Mexican television who was there at the moment when the picture was taken. And incredibly, this man is very skeptical. It's a Philip Glass of Mexico. And he was there. I have fought with him in television so many times about the crop circles and this and that. And now he had to say, Jaime, for the first time, I agree with you. Okay. This picture was taken July 24, 2 o'clock in the afternoon with 31 seconds. We will see that clearly later. Okay. No, please. Continue. The image, please. Thank you.
Con los programas como normalmente lo venimos haciendo. No me parece una foto falsa, me parece una foto muy interesante. Entonces se presenta este fenómeno como diciendo, como un faro, ¿no? Como que volteen a ver qué hay aquí en México, ¿no? O sea, como que algo viene, ¿no? Algo posible. Yo quisiera pensar en eso, pero definitivamente no es algo trucado. Pero de que la luz sale, eso o sale o entra, o sea, es muy impresionante la imagen porque se ve muy delineado el lugar donde sale la imagen, pero no se ve tan sharpness, o sea, en el borde de la imagen se ve que de ahí sale la luz. O sea, no me parece que haya una manipulación ahí
estamos ante una fotografía extraordinaria.
Extraordinaria y fortuita y afortunada, ¿verdad? Pues, o sea, la persona que la tomó pues puede decir que tomó algo fuera de este mundo, ¿verdad?
These are the three pictures that were taken. This is some of the analysis made in Italy. They were able to see exactly where it was taken because this was taken with an iPhone, and they were able to locate exactly where the position of the camera was regarding the pyramid. They also found an object very close to the pyramid, and you can see this light coming from the pyramid up. The witnesses never saw when this happened. This must be a pulse. It's a pulse. It's something very brief. It didn't last it. Probably 100%.
L'indagine in diretta
This is Giuseppe Garofalo in Italo.
Dei metadati in Exifer. Qui questo elemento mi ha portato alla conclusione che l'immagine è reale, le immagini sono concrete, sono vere e sono autentiche.
The images are real. There is no fake on this.
Quindi il posizionamento.
This is a real event.
Impresionada porque no esperábamos ver lo que vimos.
En el momento de estar viendo la foto, a la par estaba una señora, una de nativos indios, orando y vi que terminó de orar y se la muestro y me dijo que era eran mis antepasados, mis abuelos, no sé, y me dijo que no la compartiera con nadie.
Como hay gente que cree, hay gente que no cree, y aún yo, sí, pues porque me pasó a mí, yo creo, pero yo creo que si yo la viera así también, o sea, es difícil de creer. Estamos contentos porque, pues, no sé, tal vez puede ser algo que pueda llevar, no sé, a nuevos descubrimientos o algo.
Incluso andaba no sé, se me olvida el nombre, no es un comediante mexicano que andaba ahí visitando las pirámides, también se lo enseñé a él y me dijo lo mismo, dame tu email y mándamelo, porque y dijo la palabra, dijo que estaba buena la foto esa, sí.
Jaime Maussan, un aplauso por favor. Bueno, vamos a empezar a entendernos en algunas cosas, Jaime, en este momento, porque estamos al aire y los dos estamos comprometidos aquí.
Aquí es.
Tú dijiste que tú me quieres entrevistar a mí, ¿ok?
Sí, claro. Bueno,
¿quieres pasarte a esta mesa? Te invito a esta y yo me siento ahí.
No.
¿Quieres?
No.
Vamos a hacerlo. Un aplauso para Jaime Maussan, por favor. Música, Martín, algo, no sé.
A ver.
El caso es que yo estaba parado en una esquina, el guía estaba en la otra y me estaba demostrando cómo de lado a lado del juego de pelota se oye la voz si hablas contra la pared.
Sí.
Entonces, esta circunstancia de pronto se acerca un hombre y me dice, oiga, ¿usted sale en la televisión? Sí. Mire esta fotografía y me enseña su iPhone, ¿así?
Sí.
Y me enseña, vuelvan a poner esa fotografía, la fotografía que Jaime acaba de traer.
Esta fotografía se certificó, fue tomada directamente, no hay una segunda, no está, digamos, trucada, emplastada, inclusive está, como el iPhone te da la posición del geoposicionador, el GPS, está localizado perfectamente en Chichén Itzá, por tanto, no hay posibilidad de truco. Además, tú la viste ahí. ¿Esto es lo que viste?
Exactamente, esa es la foto.
¿Y qué fue la palabra que dijiste? Porque a mí sí me la dijeron.
Yo en ese momento le dije al guía, oiga, ¿qué opina usted de esto? Y el guía la tomó y dijo, uy, esta hay que guardarla. Dice, de estas hay pocas, pero sí ocurren. Vamos a cambiar. Ahora yo voy a entrevistar a Jaime Maussan. Música, Martín, por favor. En lo que nos cambiamos, aplauso para Jaime Maussan.
Pero lo más importante para mí es que es verdad, que ocurrió y que tú estabas ahí.
La foto, damas y caballeros, yo certifico la historia que acabo de contar con lo que tengo, mis sentidos. Mi vista, mis oídos, mi tacto y mis genitales, que son todos los sentidos que tenemos, ¿no? Yo certifico que sí, efectivamente, la historia como la cuentas, así yo la vi. Y efectivamente esta fotografía, por lo que yo entiendo, a menos que hubieras armado todo un show para que yo estuviera en Chichén Itzá y tú supieras, no, esto efectivamente así fue. Y el hombre que la tomó estaba muy sorprendido después de haberla tomado. En eso sí, por su investigación, aplaudo a Jaime Maussan. Espero que hagan lo mismo. Y esto sí es importante. Y esto sí es muy interesante. Pongan la foto de Chichén Itzá, por favor. Pongan la foto otra vez de Chichén Itzá. Es la primera vez en toda mi vida. ¿Cuántos años llevamos de conocernos y de pelearnos?
Como
10 o 15 años, ¿no?
15 años, sí.
Pon la foto de Chichén Itzá, por favor.
Desde la radio, ¿no?
La gente le gusta ver esto y a la gente, desde el radio nos peleábamos, desde la taquilla.
Bastante.
Ponla, por favor, acércala un poco para que la gente vea esta fotografía que fue tomada en Chichén Itzá. Jaime tiene mejor el día que yo. ¿Qué día fue, Jaime?
24 de julio a las 2 de la tarde con 31 segundos. Y eso porque está en la información del metadata que tienen las fotografías dentro de los
zoom in a la foto, por favor. Yo mismo no la entiendo. Yo estaba el día en que se sacó esa foto, conocí a la persona que la sacó, y es la primera vez en 15 años, y así es a veces la vida, Jaime Maussan, así es a veces la vida, en que encontramos un punto de acuerdo. Un aplauso para Jaime Maussan, damas y caballeros. 15 años, regresamos con la...
Thank you. This is the incredible picture, and now a last word, please, the lights off.
Señales en el cielo, las señales del cambio. La profecía final nos habla de un mundo distinto, sin garantías, un mundo que será construido por nosotros para bien o para mal. Una realidad que podría convertirse en el paraíso en la tierra, pero que también podría convertirse en un verdadero infierno. Una realidad de la que no podríamos escapar. Una realidad que viviríamos todos los días, en todo momento, donde ni siquiera la muerte se convertiría en un alivio. Sin embargo, podríamos convertir esa realidad en el mundo que hemos siempre deseado. El desarrollo de la tecnología, especialmente de los medios de comunicación, nos permiten la posibilidad de crear un mundo sustentable, un mundo justo, donde el ser humano encuentre la paz. Hoy esas señales que vienen de otra dimensión tratan de advertirnos. Algo quieren decirnos, pero nos mantenemos ajenos e insensibles. Preferimos ignorarlas o encontrar cualquier explicación que satisfaga nuestros propios intereses. Ahí están las señales. Nuestro mundo y nuestra realidad desaparecen ante nosotros. Las formas de vida que habitaron este planeta por millones de años son destruidas todos los días. De acuerdo a números oficiales, más de 5.000 especies se extinguen para siempre cada año. ¿Cuántas más antes de quedarnos solos? Todos los días mueren seres humanos de hambre y de sed. La injusticia y la violencia se han convertido en nuestra realidad cotidiana. Ante nosotros, seres inteligentes pretenden iniciar una comunicación. Nos envían señales a nuestros campos de cultivo, señales que también se presentan en nuestros cielos. Nos observan sin poder cambiar nuestra realidad. Impotentes esperan el momento que podamos superar nuestras diferencias y encontremos el verdadero sentido de la existencia. Tenemos miedo. Observamos las catástrofes que sufren algunos y nos preguntamos cuándo nos sucederá a nosotros. Sabemos que la violencia se pasea fuera de nuestros hogares. Escuchamos los lamentos, pero nada o muy poco hacemos. El cambio que los mayas anticiparon hace más de 5,000 años se encuentra dentro de cada uno de nosotros. Con valor tenemos que enfrentar nuestro destino y convertir esta humanidad en una sociedad cósmica que sea capaz de volar en los confines del universo, llevando con ella los valores más exquisitos de la creación. Dios existe. No es un ser. Es una intención inteligente. Si la naturaleza es cruel y descarnada, Dios es el bien que solo se puede manifestar a través de la inteligencia. A través de los seres que saben pensar y que han decidido el bien sobre el mal. Ahí en ellos es donde Dios vive. No se puede explicar, pero se puede sentir. ¿Cuánto tiempo? ¿Cuánto más? ¿Hasta cuándo? Las señales en el cielo nos dicen que muy pronto.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. 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 Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Jaime, Santiago.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.